Hello everyone and welcome back. I was tired to sign my drill holes by a pen, and so I decided to make a new project. The new project is to apply a DIO on my tailstock. And so I decided to bought a digital caliper like this, and I studied a way to install on my tailstock. One part will be fixed to the tailstock and the other part will move with the internal shaft. I saw a piece of aluminum in my workshop and I decided to use it to fix and to install the caliper, divided in two parts. And to work the two discs, I make a small shaft of 10 mm, and after I install the disc and I go to the lathe. And using this device I will be able to work not only in the external surface but also the two surfaces of every disc. And after, when I will finish with the lathe, I will go to the milling machine to make some other milling operation. After making the external diameter, I don't work the center part of the disc because in this part there will be the hole for the shaft of the tailstock. So it is not important that it is parallel or other. And here I will make a groove on the external surface of my milling machine where I will install a part that will be the support for the caliper. And to measure the depth under the milling machine, I use this caliper that is an homemade on arrow hole drawing that is very useful, as you can see, and it's very easy also to measure that part that is the depth of the hole with the part over or the caliper. After measure the groove and finish the groove, I turn the support, that is a square bar, as you can see, of 90 degrees, and I make a screw hole of M4. This will be the screw hole that will fix the ring to the tailstock. And finally I make two M4 screw, as you can see, to stop the support of the caliper and give the possibility to move a little. After I return to the lathe and I make the internal shaft of 43 mm and I test if was enough or not to install to the shaft of the tailstock. And finally I cut with my disc to give the possibility of the disc to close to the shaft. And this is the second disc that have holes for calamite and that will be fixed to the tailstock. Will be the part that take the zero. The drill hole is not 3 mm like the calamite, but is 2.5, so a small part of the calamite remain out of the surface. And when I finish this disc, I return to the lathe and I make the new hole for the central shaft. In this case, the new hole will be bigger than the shaft and not tight like the first one, because in this case the central shaft have to move easy inside, as you can see from the video. And after finish I return to the milling machine and I create two screw hole of M4 to support the part that it will be the zero for my caliper. I test the groove of the ring, and after I have to decide the depth of this part to make the support for the zero ring. And to measure the distance between the caliper and the ring, I use another caliper that is a caliper that is moving side by side, and I insert between my digital caliper and the second ring. And after I was happy for the measure, I close this caliper and I use for the last time the digital caliper. So I take the measure, I take the dimension for the aluminum block that I will do for this reason. After taking the measure, I take a small piece of aluminum, a small block, like that, and I go to the milling machine. I make 2 holes for fixing, but also a single hole in the center of 3 millimeters. And I insert a pin of steel that it will be the 0 for my caliper. After check if the depth was correct or not, it was arrived the moment to disassemble completely the caliper, because I want to cut there and also there with my grinder. And so I start to disassemble completely the caliper. It's not a difficult work, but you have to take a great attention to the head of this very small screw, because it's very easy to break. And after I disassemble all the screw, I arrive at the internal part where there is the sensor, and the 90% was disassembly. And after assembly, I decide with my pen where to cut with my grinder. You have to consider that this metal is hardened and is very, very strong. My friend take for me a measure, and the hard is 51 Rockwell C, so it's very, very strong. Using a drill bit for all, there was no result, so I decided to use a carbide end mill. In this case, I was able to make the hole. I return to assembly the small thickness to the second ring, that will be the pin for the 0 of the caliper. And after I take the cyano acrylate glue to take the calamite in the second ring. Every calamite is out of the surface of 0.5 millimeters. I return to assembly completely the caliper, and after I try to install the caliper in the first ring. After that, I put the second ring with the calamite to the tailstock to see the force, and install the first ring, checking if the position of the pin, so the 0, was correct or not. I test the position and also the force that the calamite was giving me in the ring. After put the first ring, I decided to rotate a little the complete assembly to see the front of the screen of the caliper, like in front of me or in front of the lathe. And after I close the screw to stop the first ring. And this was the most important test, the possibility to disassemble a chuck with the caliper installed. And it was very good. As you can see, there's no problem, and the complete assembly work very, very well. So I'm very happy for the project. I'm very, very happy for my caliper, and I hope you enjoyed the video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon. AB Shop.